Lesson 7.3, Solving Linear Systems by Elimination. This is the best method. If you can do elimination, do it. When you are getting these kind of questions on an ACT or in a future math class, elimination is the one that you'll remember. And you'll remember that it's the easiest one. So definitely want to do these and make sure you get them down. So here's the key point. You can add two equations or subtract them, although I'm almost always going to add them. And I'll explain more on that later, to make a new equation that gets rid of one of the variables. Makes your life a lot easier. So here's an example. I'm just going to add straight down 2x minus 2x, or as I like to say, 2x plus negative 2x is 0x, which of course we're not going to write. 3y plus 5y is 8y. 11 plus 13 is 24. Then we solve for y, and we get y equals 3. Now we're not done. That's just one part of the equation. Now we've got to go find the x. Well, we've got an equation with two unknowns, but we actually just figured out one of them, so I'll use the top equation. Rewrite it as 2x plus 3 times 3. We're just taking the y value and subbing it in. Equals 11. Solve it. Divide both sides by 2. Get x equals 1. So, there we go. We just solved it. A little bit easier than graphing, a little bit quicker, and exact. If we had a number that's a decimal or a fraction, it works. And of course, we're not done, because we might have made a mistake somewhere, which happens. We have to check it. Now, we used this equation here to find the value of x. So we're going to use the second equation to check. We just put them both in. Negative 2 times 1 plus 5 times 3. And we'll see if that equals 13. Negative 2 plus 15. And 13 equals 13. So we did it correctly. Again, we should never get this wrong. Once we check, yes, we are done. So why not just graph or use substitution? As I said before, it's a bit easier. And it's the most commonly used way. And usually they get set up with the two equations on top of each other, so you know to use elimination. So here are some of the problems that we'll run into. We look at this and we think we can start adding down. Well, the equations are not lined up. 4y is under the x, 3x under the y. We got x and y on the left of the equals. We got something else over here. So we've got to mess with this one. So let's rewrite this one. And I'll just rewrite the equation as is first. Let's move it over. So we get negative 3x plus 4y equals 14. We rewrite the two equations. We'll bring this one down. Bring this one down. And now we set it up. The 4y is negative and the 4y is positive, so we can just subtract. We'll be done in no time at all. There's x equals 2. Let's start putting our points up here. So we'll put it into the first equation. 8 times 2 minus 4y equals negative 4, and solve. There's our other point. And then we use this equation here, and always go back and use exactly the original equation, not the one we manipulated. Always go with the one that was at the beginning of the problem in case we made a mistake somewhere. 4 times 5, 3 times 2, plus 14, 20. And it looks like 20 equals 20, so we did it correctly. I like to write my answer up there somewhere near the beginning of the problem because this is a very messy process. And when people come along and check, they want to know where it is. I put it right there at the beginning. Now, some people do subtraction. So 4x minus 5x is negative 1x. 3y minus 3y vanishes. 2 minus negative 2 is 4. 2 minus negative 2 is 4. Divide both sides by negative 1, and we get x equals negative 4. So there's the first part. I'm going to erase this just because it's in the way. And let's use the top equation. 4 times negative 4 plus 3y equals 2. Negative 16 plus 3y equals 2. 3y equals 18. Y equals 6. Check. In the other equation, 5 times negative 4 plus 3 times 6, negative 2. Negative 20 plus 18, negative 2 equals negative 2. Looks good. Well, another way to do subtraction is what I'd actually recommend. I don't like subtracting. I'll get halfway through the problem and I'll start adding because I forgot that I'm subtracting. So I just like to do adding all the time. Another way to do subtraction is just multiply by negative 1. So for example, we had 4x plus 3y equals 2 in the previous problem. And then we had 5x plus 3y equals negative 2. Let's just multiply the bottom one by negative 1. So the top stays the same. 4x plus 3y equals 2. And the bottom becomes negative 5x minus 3y, 2. And then we can add it down and go from there. We've already done all the work. We're not going to do it again. Really like multiplying by negative 1. Don't like subtracting. It just doesn't work for me. If it works for you, great. No problems. Here's one more example. So, we need to get everything together. So let's mess with this equation first. And I'm going to do it in my head. 4x moved over means I have to subtract it. So negative 4x plus 5y equals 6. 2x plus 5y equals 12. Can't add anything down. I could subtract. I don't like doing that, as I mentioned earlier. So I'm going to multiply it by negative 1. 2x plus 5y equals 12. 4x minus 5y equals negative 6. So now we can add down. I'm going to leave this one up to you. I am just going to tell you that if you do it right, you should get 1, 2. So give it a try in the space below. See if you can get it right. Tricky stuff, lots of details, easy to make mistakes. That's why we always check. And then it gets very frustrating if we made a mistake and we have to go back and find our mistake. But don't let it get to you. After a while, you get pretty good at it. And it really is the simplest way to solve two equations with two unknowns. Good luck.